Hello you lot, welcome back to the channel and a new video. And in this video, yes, I'm going to be working on my Focus ST again. Well, I say working, what I'm actually going to be doing is looking for a squeak. Now, I've done a couple of runs out lately and yeah, it's developed a squeak on this front corner on the offside. Now, I'm not too sure whether it's the control arm bush that sits at the back of the control arm, which some people say the anti-dive one, or whether it's actually the top mount. But when you basically steer, I'm getting a bush squeak noise. So all I'm going to do now is jack up the car, take the wheel off, and then have a look just to make sure the lower bush is okay, and check out some of the other bushes just to be sure what I'm going to need to buy before I order it. So all I've done to start with is just put my car on this little wee ramp that I got from China, and the reason to do that is because I can get the jack under it now. I've also put a rock at the back wheel just to stop it rolling because it is on a driveway. Car desperately needs a clean, but yeah, let's get the jack underneath, jack the car up. But first off, I'm going to loosen off those wheel nuts. Alright, so I've slackened the wheel nuts off, jacked the car up. The rock that I actually had there wedging on the back wheel, I suddenly realised that it needs to go there because obviously this side is being jacked up. So yeah, overly tired, I think that's my excuse. Wheel and tyre is off, and before I head on over to the car, so this tyre's about 3 years old, and as you can see, plenty of tread, but plenty of cracks too. Not too sure why the outside edge is doing that. Maybe it's hard cornering, because all the alignment's been done, so yeah. And if anything, the car runs negative camber, so the outside edge is being pushed a bit. Yeah, so the plan is anyway, 4 new tyres. I'm going to come on over to the car and have a quick look, just to make sure the bolts on that bit are okay, and lots of the ball joints are still good on the car. Well, I've put some special silicone lube on that bush. I've put one at the very bottom underneath. I've lubed the front bush in there, tiny bit on these bits and a bit on that bit. I've also done a bit on the shock and on the top mount, but as you know, BC Racing just bolt to the top, and I've also put a tiny bit in the top down. So the thing is, my hands are filthy. it's still doing it, which is really weird because it's not even under load. So I've had a few people in forums say, well, you know, the bushes get like that, they squeak, and a lot of people don't like them. But the only thing I did notice is that my inner CV boot is cracked on the end. Whether that's actually making the noise, but it doesn't when you try to move it by hand, so not too sure. I mean, don't think it's steering rack. The steering rack feels fine. It's just odd that how it does it only like in this much movement on this side. And I mean, I've even put lube on the brake hose everywhere, so very puzzling. But I've really got my suspicion that it's that lower bush. Anyway, let's put the wheel back on and then I'll have a think. Right, wheel is back on. Car is back off the jack. I'm going to have a quick look at this side, but I'm obviously not going to film me jacking it up and stuff because it's a little bit baffling. Yeah, out of breath, knackered. I've taken all that side off, greased it, put it all back together, greased the top mounts. I know there's no rubber in the top, well, there's a pillow joint, but that sits in between the inner wing and the lower part of the BC. So all there is to me to drive it around and see what happens. But like I say, it's only when you move the steering wheel like this much when you're going along in a straight. So maybe it's cured, maybe it's not. Bit of a pointless video, but I thought I'm out here, so I'll film it just so you've got something to tick the numbers over until I get some new parts turn up. Yes, new parts. So in order to watch me mess up my car even more, come back in a week or two and watch that.